welcome back. So let me finish putting out my paint. I've got the white over here, and I'm using lead white, but you can also use titanium white. And I'm going to be using, you can see this, Cypress Umber Medium. You could also use Cypress Umber Dark, but this is made by Rublev. And you can use any umber that you want to. You can even use a raw umber. A burnt umber. This is a version of raw umber. Rublev simply calls it Cypress Umber. It has several different types of umbers. I like this one because it's more of a neutral color, and it's the pigment number is PBR7, and it's made from iron and manganese oxides. And the vehicle or binding oil is linseed oil. And one of the things I love about Rublev, which is made by natural pigments, one of the things I love about them is that they tell you everything about what's in this tube here, under here. So the only two things that are in here is pigment, PBR7, and linseed oil. That's it. There's nothing else. A lot of the other paint manufacturers don't tell you what is in their paints. Or they don't tell you everything. Okay, so we're going to start with this. And you know what? I'm going to switch to a palette knife. And I'm going to mix up a medium color. Let's see here. Does that look about like medium? Maybe a smidgen more, I think. And this is not an exact science. Now, if you wanted to be more exact, you could take a value wheel. So we could look at it. This is a color wheel with a value wheel on here. This is value 5. Look on here and see. Close enough. All right. So we got a pretty good middle tone value there. Now let's start going outward. So let's get some more here. Make sure that this is darker. And make it a good step above. Okay. And then here it needs to be lighter than the pure color out of the tube. But yeah, I think that meets it. Let's take this and get some more white. That looks to be pretty good right there. So we want this to be a darker value than pure white, but lighter than what is next to it. And I think we want a little bit more in there. This needs to be lighter. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit happier with that. So you just kind of got to make add adjustments until you are happy with it. And this is going to take practice. This is not something that you're going to be able to do just right out of the bat. But I would make the recommendation of you practicing. And no, it is going to take practice. So I'm going to start with the darkest, which is straight out of the tube. And I am going to put it in where I think that my darkest colors are, which is going to be underneath here. So where our shadows are is where the darkest dark is going to be. Okay. I'm going to put this color down next, and I'm going to see how I like it. I did go in with a little bit lighter color here because I didn't really like it quite as much as that darker one. Okay. Now, just so I can get some reference, I'm going to put this white on here. This is not going to be the final light. We're going to put in the white of it on top. In fact, I may go ahead and do that now. Get my highlight in here. And you're probably wondering, why are you putting your highlight in so early? Well, it really helps me to go and see that. It really helps me to see that and to get a good understanding about where everything else is going to fit. I'm going to use this color for some of my background color. I'm so used to saying color, but it's background value. Now, I do like painting my background early, and the reason why I do that is for the value and the color, because the value and the color of your background really does affect so many other things in your painting. Obviously, I'm not painting it early because of the color, right? Because this is really painting without color. But I am putting it in here for the value. And that is so I know, okay, how can I compare the value of my onion? I need something else to compare it to. Like I need the value of something else around it. And that's a good start. That's a good place for us to start. Now let's look at the middle tones. Let's see here. See how this is going to look. I'm just trying to find where are the pieces that are pulling away or turning away from me and the light source, and they're just going to be just a little bit darker. And then there's a piece here that's going to be a little bit darker, but most of it is, I think, going to be lighter. It's like it's got a lot of light hitting on it. In fact, we may want to come back and punch it up with some light. Okay, so the base of this is actually going to be kind of dark. And then I'll go show you a trick that moving forward. Got the little skins and stuff. I'm going to put some lighter color here on the tabletop to show we got a lot more light coming in on here. And this light is, you know, if you learned about light in school, it's actually made out of particles. And so as the particles are hitting, they're kind of spreading out, and they aren't hitting this onion all in one direction. So where we're seeing that highlight, it means it's the light's hitting that part of the onion is coming directly back to our eyes. But then as it's hitting the other parts of the onion, the light is kind of being scattered around, and it's being scattered into other places. And so this scattering of light means that it gets just a little bit darker, it gets a little bit duller as we go around. So since we painted it a little bit darker to start off with, we can just add in these lighter colors into it and blend it in, or not blend it in, but mix it into the color that's already there. And then that way we can make additional colors, more steps than what we would normally have. Another thing you can do to make your paint stand out is to make the highlight thicker, and then as you go around, it's getting thinner and thinner. So what I've been doing is I've been putting a base. I've been making a base and getting that base ready for this highlight that I'm going to be putting on, this thicker highlight. And we need to put some here because we've got that neat little top part of it. And we've got little bits in here. I love little bits. Don't you just love the little bits? It makes it really interesting, doesn't it? Okay, so let's see here. Let's try this color. This value. Okay. Try to get just a little bit. This looks good. And I'm going to put it on there and see. Oh yeah, that looks good. And I'm going to be adding in some of this these little hairs. What do you call them? Do you call them hairs? Now look, little roots. So that is our basic onion, doing a value study of that. So we've drawn it now in basically in values. Now we've painted it in values. And let's go and see if we can paint this in color. What would you think about that? We're not going to have to add a whole lot of colors to my palette with that. No, we are not. That's good. All right, so I will see you back for our next lesson where we paint. So if you've enjoyed watching this video on values, I've broken these up into segments so that it's a bite-sized segment that you can watch very quickly and then actually get right to your easel and apply that. If you want to keep on watching the rest of this video, join me on Patreon. Thanks.